This video is made possible by Practical Defense Systems, the best online security training at the lowest prices. You can start your security career today online at pdsclasses.com. Check them out. Hi, this is Joel Persinger. I'm the Gun Guy. Thank you very much for all of your support on GunGuyTV. I really deeply appreciate it. You might check us out on these other platforms here, because we do copy the channel on all of those platforms. So when something happens to us on YouTube, periodically they delete a video or whatever, you'll find it on these other places as well. And then please do check out the GunGuyTV audio podcast. You can find it on your favorite podcast player, although we do put a video version here on YouTube as well. And if you want to support the channel, Patreon's a way you can do it. You can also, if you like, shop Amazon using our Amazon link. Costs you nothing, but it does help out the channel. All right. At the risk of talking about something entirely boring, because people don't, who gets excited about a gun belt, right? But I'm going to talk with you about gun belts anyway, because I get the question on a regular basis, what kind of holster do I use? What kind of gun do I carry every day? And that kind of thing. I've been carrying a gun for 40 years, pretty much every day of my life. So I get the questions a lot. And still I see in the news, periodically you'll see a picture or on the web or something of somebody carrying a gun in such an idiotic way that you wonder why. You spent $500 or $600 buying a gun, and now you spend $10 on a holster and you don't even have a belt on it. It's just in your sweatpants or whatever. And every time I see that, it kind of makes me cringe. So I figured I would give you the little bit of information I generally give students when it comes to gun belts. Holsters are important. Holsters are going to make whether you're carrying the gun comfortable or not, carrying the gun accessible or not. The holster, having a quality holster to go with your gun is key. That's why I have my holsters made. I don't buy holsters anymore that are from, I actually have George Bauer at GB Holsters makes my holsters, and I'll put a link to his stuff in the description, but I've done a couple of videos on his holsters, and he makes all of my holsters now because he does such a fabulous job, and he makes them the way I want them. But in addition to a good holster, you have to have a gun belt. So let me explain what I mean by a gun belt. A gun belt is a belt that is designed, as these are, to be stiff enough to return to their shape and hold the gun up, essentially. I mean, a standard belt that's just meant to hold your pants up is too flimsy to hold up a gun, because what happens is now you have the gun on the gun belt, on your belt, and the holster starts tilting out like this because of the weight of the gun, and so does your mag pouch over here. And so you cinch up your belt, and then it stretches a little bit more, and as you cinch up your belt, pretty soon you're turning blue because you can't breathe, you're really uncomfortable because the gun keeps doing this. Well, a gun belt, a quality gun belt, won't do that. The belt needs to fit the loops in the holster as well as the loops in your pants, but it also needs to have some stiffness to it. Now, some companies have liners on the inside, polymer liners that make the gun belt very stiff. And some gun belts are very tactical looking, but they don't have to be. This is a belt from Core Essentials. It's a trackline belt. These are my favorites, by the way, which is why I'm talking to you about them. And this is actually a dress belt. It's mine, and I do wear it quite often. The one I wear the most, obviously, is this one, because it's starting to get bent. I've had it a long time. And this is the same thing, but you can see the belt is a little bit different design, and instead of being black, this is brown. So if I'm wearing something that requires a brown dressy belt, I'll wear this one. If I'm wearing something that requires a black dressy belt, I'll wear this one. If I'm just wearing blue jeans or I'm out and about or whatever, I'll generally wear this one. These are all Core Essential trackline belts. They're called track lines because of the way they adjust. They have a track line in the middle of the belt here, and then there's a ratchet action. You can hear it as I put the belt together, and then there's a little tab you push to let the belt out. Now, why do I like that? Because it gives me a wider range of adjustment to be able to make sure that I'm comfortable carrying the gun. I'm also an old guy, and so when I eat a big meal, I get bigger for a short time, and then I shrink again. It allows me, you may do that too, I don't know, but it allows me to have some adjustment on the belt there. Now, I've used these belts for years at this point. This is an older one that I stopped using, and the reason I stopped using it is because the old buckle design, which I'll give you a close-up picture of, is very short in the tab, there's a short amount of belt material that goes in there, and then it tends to want to get loose and wiggle, and that's what happened with this one, so I stopped wearing it. Now, I'm going to set this one over here, get it out of the way. What I like about Core Essentials is they're constantly updating these things. This is the one that I wear most of the time because I'm generally wearing brown. But I've had this one for, I don't know, years now, and you'll notice if you look at this buckle, and I'll put the two buckles together for you in a shot, this has a lot deeper penetration of the material into the buckle, and then it's got set screws. In addition to the clamping action of the buckle, there's two set screws that grab the material. So this does not wiggle at all, and this buckle has been absolutely bulletproof. And so I've really enjoyed this belt, and the other ones are the same way. They're all the new buckles. So if you get them now, you actually get that buckle. Core Essentials is in San Diego, I think. So they're in the same, general vicinity that I live, which is kind of neat. But, one way or the other, I got to tell you, whether you pick this particular belt or another belt, get yourself a quality gun belt. I wanted to illustrate to you that it does not have to be tactical. I'm not Tactical Tim or Tactical Tom or whatever. I'm just a regular guy. And so I don't subscribe to the everything has to be tactical thing because I'm not comfortable wearing that. I wear shorts like I'm doing today and a t-shirt and a ball cap or something and my shades and sneakers or flip-flops most of the time if the weather's nice. If I'm not, I'm wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt or a flannel shirt or something or a hoodie or whatever because I live in Southern California. So I don't think I own any tactical gear. I have a YouTube channel. I don't go for guns and I don't own any tactical gear. There's something wrong with me apparently. However, that said, I got to tell you, there's nothing other than the holster that's going to make you more comfortable carrying the gun than a quality gun belt. And I can attest, because I've worn these for years now, that these are of the highest quality, and they are my favorite gun belts, are these Core Essential trackline belts. They just make them extremely well, and they're a great belt. Now, that's a really boring video. It's a boring thing to talk about. I realize there's not a lot of shooting in it, a little bit, but not a whole lot. I, demonstrate drawing and like that in this video for you, obviously. But I don't, still, it's an important subject, I think, for people who are carrying a gun every day. So if you have a carry gun and you carry all the time, regardless of where you are in the state, and you're carrying concealed or openly, either way, get yourself, please, a quality holster to carry that gun and secure that gun, and get yourself a really good gun belt. You're not going to go wrong with the Core Essentials Trackline series of gun belts. In fact, frankly, I think you could do a ton worse because they're outstanding. So I'll put a link to their company website in the description and you can check them out. Now, you've got to look and say, well, that's expensive. Okay, it's a gun belt. It's designed to hold the gun up. So how much is your comfort worth and your capability of actually getting the gun when you need it? How expensive is otherwise you're going to want to just be miserable and walk around miserable all the time because the gun's poking you in the ribs or it's uncomfortable or whatever. It's like any other piece of clothing. Buy the piece of clothing that's going to help you be comfortable and do what you need to do. Because the truth is, if you're not comfortable carrying the gun, you won't carry it. And then it becomes a left-it gun. You left it at home. Where's your gun, Joel? I left it at home. I left it in the car. I left it here. I left it there. It needs to be an always gun. And if it's an always gun and you always have it, then you have to have a way to carry it that makes the gun accessible to you easily, comfortable to carry, and if it's concealed in such a way that everybody and the grandmother doesn't know you have it until they're looking down the barrel of it because it's about ready to go bang. So there you are. There's the Core Essentials Trackline belt. Outstanding belts. I really, really like them. They are by far, without question, my favorite gun belts, and frankly, they're the only ones I use anymore. And that's not because they pay me, because they don't. So there you are. Thank you very much for watching. Look for the links in the description. If it's YouTube, sometimes the links they're weird about, so I'll put it in the first comment and pin it to the top. Have a wonderful week. Thank you very much again for all of your support. And I'll try to have a better shooting video for you coming up with the Boyd gun stock video I just shot, and that'll be out in just a few days. Thanks again. Have a great week. Be safe.